Welcome back. This is Scuba's Daily Bible Readings. Today is January 20th reading, and we're going to start in Genesis 41:17 through 42:17. All right, double 17s. Give you a second there to get caught in your Bible. It's the first book of your Bible there. Excuse me. All right, here we go. Give my little head a scratch so we know what we're reading. Genesis 41:17. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, in my dream, I was standing on the bank of the Nile. Oh, yep, 41:17. When out of the river there came up 7 cows, fat and sleek, and they grazed among the reeds. After them 7 other cows came up, scrawny and very ugly, and lean. I had never seen such ugly cows in all the land of Egypt. The lean and ugly cows ate up 7 fat cows that came up first. But even after they ate them, no one could tell that they had done so. They looked just as ugly as before. Then I woke up. In my dream, I saw 7 heads of grain, full of good, growing on a single stalk. After them, 7 other heads sprouted, withered and thin and scorched by the east wind. The thin heads of grain swallowed up the 7 good heads. I told this I had told this to the magicians, but none of them could explain to me. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, the dreams of Pharaoh are one and the same. God has revealed to the Pharaoh that what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 heads of grain are 7 years. It is one of the same dream. The 7 lean, ugly cows that came up after are 7 years, and and so are the 7 worthless heads of grain, scorched by the east wind. They are the 7 years of famine. It is just as I said to Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. 7 years of great abundance are coming throughout the land of Egypt, but 7 years of famine will follow them. Then all the abundance in Egypt will be forgotten, and the famine will ravage the land. The abundance of the land will not be remembered, because the famine that follows it will be so severe. The reason to the dream was to was the reason the dream was given to Pharaoh in two forms is that the matter has been firmly decided by God, and God will do it soon. Let Pharaoh look for him for a discerning and wise man, and put him in charge of the land. Let Pharaoh appoint commissioners over the land to take a fifth of the harvest of Egypt during the 7 years of the abundance. They should collect all the food of these good years that are coming and store up the grain under the authority of Pharaoh, to be kept in the cities for food. This food should be held in reserve for the country, to be used during the 7 years of famine that will come upon Egypt, so that the country may not be ruined by the famine. The plan seemed good to Pharaoh and to all his officials, so Pharaoh asked them, can we find anyone like this man, one in whom is the Spirit of God? The Pharaoh said to Joseph, since God has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and as wise as you. You shall be in charge of my place, and all my people are to submit to the orders. Only with respect to the throne will they be greater than you. Will I be greater than you? So Pharaoh said to Joseph, I hereby put you in charge of the whole land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh took his signet ring from his finger and put it on Joseph's finger. He dressed him in robes of fine linen and put a gold chain around his neck. He had him ride in on a chariot as his second in command. The people shouted before him, make way! Thus he put him in charge of the whole land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, but without your word no one will lift a hand or a foot in all of Egypt. Pharaoh gave Joseph the name Zap. Oh, here we go. Zaphanath Anah, and gave him Asenath, daughter of Potiphera, priest of On, to be his wife. And Joseph went through the land of Egypt. Joseph was 30 years old when he entered the service of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from Pharaoh's presence and traveled throughout Egypt. During the 7 years of abundance, the land produced plentifully. Joseph collected all the food produced in the 7 years of abundance in Egypt and stored it in the cities. In each city, he put the food grown in the fields surrounding it. Joseph stored up huge quantities of grain, like the sand of the sea. It was so much that he stopped keeping records because it was beyond measure. Before the years of famine came, two sons were born to Joseph by Asenath, daughter of Potiphera, priest of On. Joseph named his firstborn Manasseh and said, "It's because God made me forget all my trouble and all my father's household." The second son, Ephraim, and he said, "It's because God has made me fruitful in the land of all my suffering." The 7 years of abundance in Egypt came to an end. The 7 years of famine began. Just as Joseph had said, there was famine in all of the other lands. But in the whole land of Egypt there was food. When all Egypt began to feel famine, the people cried to Pharaoh for food. Then Pharaoh told all the Egyptians, "Go tell Joseph and do what he tells you." When the famine had spread over the whole country, Joseph opened up all the storehouses and sold grain to the Egyptians, for the famine was severe throughout Egypt, and all the world came to Egypt to buy grain from Joseph, because the famine was severe everywhere. 42. When Jacob learned that there was grain in Egypt, he said to his sons, "Why do you just keep looking at each other?" He continued, "I have heard that there is grain in Egypt. Go down there and buy some for us so that we may live and not die." The 10 of Joseph's brothers went down to buy grain from Egypt. But Jacob did not send Benjamin, Joseph's brother, with others because he was afraid that the harm might come to him. So Israel's sons were among those who went to buy grain, for there was famine in the land of Canaan also. Now Joseph was the governor of the land, and the person who sold grain to all of its people. So when Joseph's brothers arrived, they bowed down to him with their faces to the ground. As soon as Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them, but he pretended to be a stranger and spoke harshly to them. "Where do you come from?" he asked. "From the land of Canaan," they replied, "to buy food." Although Joseph recognized his brothers, they did not recognize him. Then he remembered his dreams about them and said to them, "You are spies. You have come to see where our land is unprotected." "No, my lord," they answered. "Your servants have come to buy food. We are all the sons of one man. Your servants are honest men, not spies." "No," he said to them, "you have come to see where our land is unprotected." But they replied, "Your servants were 12 brothers and the sons of one man who live in the land of Canaan. The youngest is now with our father, and one is no more." Joseph said to them, "It is just as I told you. You are spies, and this is how you will be tested, as surely as Pharaoh lives. And you will not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one of your number to get your brother. The rest of you will be kept in prison, so that your word may be tested to see if you are telling the truth. If you are not, then you are surely as Pharaoh lives. You are spies." And he put them all into custody for 3 days. Whoa. All right, let's scoot on over to Matthew. Let's see, we're in Matthew 13. Right? Yep, 13:24, excuse me. You get caught up, I'll get caught up, we'll get caught up together. Matthew 13:24 through 46. Scroll on up here. All right. Matthew 13:24-36. Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while everyone was sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat, and went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed, then the weeds also appeared. The owner's servants came to him and said, "Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where did the weeds come from?" "An enemy did this," he replied. The servants asked him, "Did you want us to go and pull them up?" "No," he answered, "because while we are pulling the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. At that time I will tell the harvesters, First, collect the weeds and tie them in bundles to be burned. Then gather the wheat and bring it to my barn." He told another parable. "The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in a field. Though it is the smallest of the seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of the garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds come and perch on its branches." He told them another parable. "The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough." Jesus spoke all things to the crowd in parables. He did not say anything to them without using a parable. So was fulfilled what was spoken through the prophet. "I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things hidden since the creation of the world." The parable of the weeds explained. Then he left the crowd and went into the house. His disciples came to him and said, "Explain to us the parable of the weeds in the field." He answered, "The two who sowed the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world, and the good seed stands for the people of the kingdom. The weeds are the people of the evil one, and the enemy who sow them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the age, and the harvesters are angels. As the weeds are pulled up and burned in the fire, so will be at the end of age. The Son of Man will send out his angels, and they will weed out of his kingdom everything that causes sin and all we do evil. They will throw them into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Whoever has ears, let them hear. The kingdom of heaven is like the treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it. All right, that's our Matthew. Let's scoot on over to looks like Psalms 18 next. 1 through 15. I love you, Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock in whom I refuge, and at whom I take refuge. My shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I call to the Lord who is worthy of my praise, and I have been saved from my enemies. The cords of death entangled me. The torrents of destruction overwhelmed me. The cords of the grave coiled around me. The snares of death confronted me. In my distress I called to the Lord. I cried to my God for help. From his temple he heard my voice. My cry came before him into his ears. Earth trembled and quaked, and the foundations of the mountains shook. They trembled because he was angry. Smoke rose from his nostrils. Consuming fire came from his mouth. Burning coals blazed out of it. He parted the heavens and came down. Dark clouds were under his feet. He mounted the cherubim and flew. He soared on the wings of the wind. He made darkness his covering, his canopy around him. The dark rain clouds of the sky. Out of the brightness of his presence, clouds advanced, with hailstones and bolts of lightning. The Lord thundered from heaven. The voice of the Most High resounded. He shot his arrows and scattered the enemy. With great bolts of lightning, he routed them. The valley of the sea was exposed, and the foundations of the earth laid bare. And at your rebuke, Lord, at the blast of your breath from your nostrils. All right, Proverbs 4 next. Let's head over there. Proverbs 4, 1 through 6. Here we go. Listen, my sons, to a father's instruction. Pay attention and gain understanding. I give you sound learning, so you do not forsake my teaching. For I too was a son to my father, still tender and cherished by my mother. Then he taught me, and he said to me, Take hold of my words with all your heart. Keep my commands, and you will live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget my words or turn away from them. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. All right, that's our Proverbs. All right, that does it for today, January 20th, Scuba's Daily Bible Readings. Hope you join us on the next day, which will be the 21st. If this is your first day, we're trying to read through the Bible, stumble through it together, one day at a time. Jump in where you're at and join us. We'll get there eventually. All right, thanks again, you guys. Peace and love.